Men, let's address a question that is often whispered in confidence but rarely spoken aloud in a marriage. If my wife is no longer interested in intercourse, shouldn't she at least be willing to compromise with other acts, like a hand job or oral sex? And should I even dare to ask? This is an incredibly reasonable question. Your sexual needs, your need for physical intimacy and release, are valid, healthy, and vital to your well-being. When the primary form of intimacy, intercourse, is withheld, seeking compromise is natural. But the reality of asking is fraught with fear. You fear being rejected again. You fear being seen as demanding or inappropriate. You fear confirming that your wife sees you only as an obligation. I've spent 5 years helping men navigate the devastating impact of chronic sexual withdrawal. And I want to give you the honest answer. Yes, asking for compromise is reasonable. But what happens if she still refuses? That's where your power truly lies. Today, we're going to explore the unfortunate reality of sexual withdrawal, the only healthy path for a man who values commitment, and the simple truth women need to understand about compromise. If this topic resonates with you, please hit that like button now. Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? And please subscribe to join a community dedicated to men's lasting vitality. The myth is that sexual disinterest is temporary, easily fixed by a romantic gesture, or that your wife will logically agree to compromise because she cares about your needs. The painful, health-critical truth is this: sexual disinterest and withdrawal, particularly after marriage, is an unfortunate pattern in female behavior that for many women becomes a non-negotiable form of self-protection, or more dangerously, a weapon of control. I know many of you are hearing advice that is simple, clean, and ultimately unhelpful. If she withholds sex, leave the marriage. It's over. But that advice often ignores the complexity of a good man's values. Your values, for many of you, leaving is not an option. Your values, your commitment to your family, your sense of loyalty, your desire to honor your vows, align most with staying and managing the situation with dignity, and I respect that choice profoundly. The reality, the same underlying issues, emotional emptiness, control, emasculation, that lead to withholding intercourse are the same ones that prevent compromise. If she is unwilling to meet you on common ground, it's a symptom that her emotional block is massive. Biologically, when a wife is deeply shut down, her brain sees any sexual act, intercourse, oral sex, hand job, as a threat to her rigid control or a demand on her empty emotional reserves. The physical simplicity of compromise is irrelevant to the psychological fear driving her withdrawal. Practically, if your wife isn't willing to budge on any form of intimacy, you must accept the difficult reality. You are choosing to stay in a non-sexual marriage. Your dignity depends on how you manage that choice. In my 5 years, I've seen men crushed by their inability to accept this reality. They stay, but they feel like victims to her withholding, allowing it to poison their self-worth. I want to talk to the good man who chooses to stay. You must take responsibility for your choice. This is the only path to health. If you choose to stay, you must use the situation to strengthen yourself, not destroy yourself. Now let me speak directly to the women who might be watching, the ones who are open-minded and realize they have shut down to sex and want a stepping stone back to connection. The message to wives: compromise is a stepping stone. If you are a woman trying to re-engage, looking at the huge, overwhelming task of going back to regular intercourse often causes you to shut down further. It feels like too big a production. Compromise lowers pressure. Offering a handjob or oral sex is a brilliant stepping stone. It minimizes the psychological pressure and overwhelm you put on yourself. It's a gift of value. It tells your husband, I still value you and your needs. I'm willing to work with you. This validates his importance without requiring you to conquer the full mental hurdle of full intercourse right away. It reintroduces fun. It's a chance to take the stick out, reduce rigidity, and explore the lighter, more spontaneous fun you likely had early in the relationship. Your husband still appreciates these things, and if you are honest with yourself, you can enjoy them too. For the good man who chooses to stay despite the withdrawal, here are the 5 mistakes you must avoid to protect your health and dignity. 5. Internalizing the rejection as a personal defect. The mistake. You believe her refusal to compromise means you are fundamentally unlovable, undesirable, or unworthy of affection. Biologically, internalizing rejection spikes stress hormones. This chronic feeling of low self-worth actively suppresses testosterone and increases depression risk. You are chemically punishing yourself. Emotionally, you allow her internal issues, her control, her emptiness to define your value. This destroys your dignity and confidence. Practically, you stop initiating everything, hugs, dates, conversations, because you fear another no, thus making yourself even more passive and less attractive. The next mistake is about how you communicate your anger. 4. Engaging in passive-aggressive manipulation. The mistake. Instead of communicating your pain, you sulk, withdraw, spend money recklessly, or criticize her in unrelated areas, hoping she will guess your pain and change. Biologically, passive aggression keeps you stuck in the toxic loop of resentment, spiking your cortisol. It denies you the chemical release that comes from honest confrontation and resolution. Emotionally, you signal that you are unwilling to be a mature, direct partner. You undermine the very respect needed for her to ever desire you again. Practically, she sees your behavior as further justification for withdrawal. See, he's immature and moody. The vicious cycle continues. Mistake number 3 is about giving away your self-respect. 3. Begging or pleading for intimacy. The mistake. You repeatedly try to convince her, listing all the reasons she should compromise, or framing intimacy as a favor she owes you. Biologically, pleading is a signal of low status and high anxiety, driven by desperation. This behavior is fundamentally unattractive and chemically repulsive. It degrades your self-respect. Emotionally, you strip away the spontaneity and mutual desire from the act, turning it into a transactional obligation, which makes it feel like a burden to her. Practically, you teach her that her rejection is powerful, and you will continue to degrade yourself to receive her minimal attention, giving her full control. The next mistake is a complete betrayal of your own health. 2. Neglecting physical health and masculine pursuits. The mistake. You use the withdrawal as an excuse to let yourself go, poor diet, no gym, zero personal development, because you feel undesirable. Biologically, this is self-sabotage. You are chemically mirroring your emotional state by lowering your testosterone and energy levels. If you don't value your physical vessel, no one else will. Emotionally, you confirm the internalized belief that you are not worth investing in. You lose the confidence that is the bedrock of male attractiveness and dignity. Practically, you ensure that if she were to consider re-engagement, you have made yourself physically and mentally less capable and attractive. The number 1 mistake is the fundamental failure of accountability. 1. Failing to take responsibility for choosing to stay. The mistake. You remain in the marriage but constantly complain, moan, and feel sorry for yourself, blaming her entirely for your unhappiness. Biologically, living in victimhood is a state of learned helplessness that bathes your system in chronic stress. It drains all motivation and vitality. Emotionally, if you have chosen to stay because of your higher values, loyalty, family, you must own that choice. Blaming her while staying makes you a martyr, which is emotionally draining for everyone. Practically, embrace the suck path. If you stay, you must use the difficulty as an anvil to forge your own strength. Victimhood is the antithesis of male vitality. Your path to health is to shift your focus entirely from getting something from her to becoming an unshakable man of integrity, regardless of her choices. 1. The dignified ask and immediate acceptance. The plan. If you choose to ask for compromise, make it clear, respectful, and framed as a need for intimacy, not a demand. But be prepared to accept the no without complaint. The script. I want to feel connected to you physically. Since intercourse is off the table right now, would you be open to compromise act so we can share some intimacy? This is important to my well-being. The response to no. I understand. I respect your boundary. I'm going to focus on healthy, self-affirming activity now. The goal. You communicate your needs clearly and then immediately transfer your energy to self-care, preserving your dignity and stopping the victim cycle. 2. The Inner Strength Program, Build Resilience. The plan. Aggressively pursue your own vitality so that her rejection becomes irrelevant to your self-worth. What to commit to. Intensive strength training, vital for mood and testosterone. Dedicate time to your purpose, work or hobby. Cultivate deep, honest male friendships where you are validated as a man. The biological impact. You create internal validation systems. When your body is strong and your mind is purposeful, her withdrawal cannot cripple you. 3. Own your choice. Embrace the suck path. The plan. If you choose to stay, use the challenge as an opportunity to become the most resilient man you can be. The mantra. I choose to stay because of my values. I will use this difficulty to become stronger, not weaker. The action. Stop using her lack of compromise as an excuse for your own failure to thrive. Your choice to stay must be an empowered one, not a helpless one. Your sexual needs are legitimate. Your choice to honor your commitment is noble. Do not let the lack of compromise from your wife make you feel like a lesser man. You are a man of value. You deserve comfort, honesty, and connection. If the connection is denied, you must focus that energy on preserving the comfort and health of your own inner life. Stop asking for permission to be loved. Start leading your life with such strength and self-respect that you are unshakable, regardless of your wife's willingness to compromise. That strength is the only power you truly possess. Make a commitment right now. Tell me in the comments one healthy, self-affirming activity you will focus on this week without needing your wife's approval. If this video gave you the clarity and courage to choose strength